it's Liz from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK, just in case you didn't know. Welcome to my YouTube channel if this is your first visit. If it is, do remember that you can subscribe just by clicking in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Today I'm making a card using the Friend Like You stamp set. This used to bundle with the, what are they called? Friendly Silhouettes dies. The dies and the stamp set are still available, but as separate items now, so do go and check out the stamp set, which is in the annual catalogue. The card I'm going to make is this one. It's been such a glorious weekend, it just seemed right that I embraced warmth and cooling views. So I'm going to start by doing the background sponging. So I have a piece of Whisper White. I will be cutting this down, but not until after I have done my sponging. It's reasonably high up. I'll show you the die that I've used for the aperture in a moment. I'm trying to get this so that it's straight with itself. I don't think I cut it terribly straight when I put it through the die cutter, so yeah, that's not bad. Ooh, that's pretty on. So, well, if one area is straight, the rest should be straight as well. So this is the die that I've used, and it's from a set that I think people are going to overlook because it's tied in with a stamp set that I think you're either going to like or not. And it's the Hippo and Friends dies. This is Robin Carden's $1 Million Achiever stamp set, and it's the dies for that. So you've got the little critters, but you've also got these amazing labels. So if you like your labels, particularly if you like them stitched and embossed, have a look at the dies, even if the stamp set isn't for you, because the dies may well be. So I've got my piece of card under there. I'm going to bring in a post-it note, which I'm going to pop. This is the one I used before, as you will be able to tell from... Ooh, I've got it the wrong way up. Oh dear. This is the one I've used before, just not the brain that I was using before, apparently. Right, so we're going to pop that just there. This is so that we get a nice, crisp horizon line. And I'm using a selection of mostly brights. I've got Bermuda Bay and Calypso Coral for my C. So I'm going to start with Calypso Coral because that's kind of my background colour. Now, my sponge daubers mostly already have glycerin or glycerol in them, which helps the ink move better. So if you haven't, I highly recommend that you get some glycerol because it does, or glycerin, because it really does make a difference. So I'm just going to bring this in. I like to start off my piece of paper, or off my piece of card, I should say. So either on the post-it note or on the die is a great place to start. And I want to make sure I get into those corners. So that's my Coastal Cabana. I'm now going to bring in Bermuda Bay. And all I've done to get ink in the lid is just to squeeze the lid and the base together. Now this I kind of want at the bottom and the top, but not too much in the middle. I know there's not a huge amount of middle, but I do want to try and have a paler line in the middle. I'm just going to add a little bit more just there. Okay, so that's our C. We will be using that one again. So let me put my Bermuda Bay away for the moment. Pull off my post-it note, and there's my nice clean horizon. And now I'm going to bring in my other post-it note, lined up my post-it note with my horizon, and the first colour I'm going to come in with is Calypso Coral. So this is where we're going into the subtles just briefly. I have to say I'm not quite sure how Calypso Coral ends up in the subtles, but hey, it's in the subtles. So this we're going to bring in, and I want to make sure that I don't end up with a white line at the horizon, but I do want to make sure that I get into those corners. Doesn't matter too much because that's where some of the stamping is going to go. But there's my Calypso Coral. So next I'm going Mango Melody. And this I'm going to blend in with my Calypso Coral and then work up. Got a bit of fluff. So I want to work this up, but I want the top of the Mango Melody to be quite pale. Bring it into the Calypso Coral a bit more. There we go. And now I want my Coastal Cabana back. Probably don't need a huge amount more ink. So my idea is that the sun has already set. But we've still got a bit of colour. And then we're waiting for the tropical night to come in, which is what our Coastal Cabana is kind of hinting at. So that's that. Take that off. We've got our nice straight horizon line. And that, I'm not worried about that because we will be trimming it down. Just as well, frankly. So I'm now bringing in, if I can find where I've put it, I buried it. What a surprise. My Stamparatus. And I've already got one of my stamps in there, but it may not be in the right place because that was the one I had for the previous card. I want to just make sure that everything's right into that corner. I'll pop one there and one there, and I'm actually going to do my palm trees first. So let me bring in the base of my palm trees. One of the reasons I want to do my palm trees first, well, I'll rephrase that. One of the reasons that I want to use my Stamparatus is so that I can get a really black. So I'm overlapping the focal point deliberately. I want the trees to come off the focal point. So we'll pick that up and bring in Tuxedo Black, Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Ink up my stamp. Probably need to re-ink my Memento ink pad soon. So it's black, but it could be blacker. Might give it one more go. Yes, I definitely think my Memento needs re-inking. Right, so that's now nice and black. So let's clean off that stamp. And grab the top of the trees. I'm just going to turn this round this way so that I can see. That's about where we want them. pick up the stamp and ink that up. You can probably see that that's quite grey by comparison to the trunk of the trees. So we'll come back in, getting there one more, and we will be done with that. Got fluff coming off my ink pad, which of course means I now have dirty hands. Okay, so that's that. Clean my hands and my stamp. And then we just need to pop in the happy day and we are pretty much done. So again, I'm going to turn it so I've got everything towards me. Now, I had it with happy day there. Will it go? I might go above this time. I like to just change things up a wee bit, just so that I can decide which I prefer, and also ask you which you prefer. So, lift that up, pop my card back in again. Yep, still straight. Okay, so last time of stamping, well, I say last time, last stamp to stamp. And last time. And there we are. All nice and dark with our black stamping. So let's take off my plate and move my magnets. So that's that. Pop that to one side to clean. So do need to just trim this down, not least of all because it's going on quite a small mat. Measurements as ever will be over on my website. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that smudged bit, and then right, so I want this. I've got dirt everywhere today, haven't I? Okay, so the card that I'm putting it on, I'm putting it onto a piece of basic black which is 3 3/4 wide. I want this 1/8 of an inch smaller. So that's probably where I want it. And then 1/8 of an inch shorter. Is that right? Right, so I need to get quite a lot shorter. I want it to come to there. Of course, the easiest thing is to measure the piece of card, right? So 5 5/8. I want it at 5 1/2. So I want it at 5 3/4. So I'm going to take 1/8 off each end. Not 5 3/4, 5 3/8. Good grief. It's sad sometimes, you know. Okay, so those two bits are scrap. So this is going to go on here. Lovely. Seal. Now, I still hear that people are having problems with seal, so gentle touch, lift, and you're away, she says, and then it snaps. Gentle touch, lift, gentle, lift, gentle, lift, gentle lift. And that lift at the end just breaks the adhesive strip. There we go. So that's that Coastal Cabana background. Now I do still need to do some stamping for the inside of my card, because Coastal Cabana is not the easiest colour to write on. It's not as bad as some, but I do like either a white or a vanilla liner. Black dimensionals on the back of our card. And my sticky snips. Please tell me that you do use your edge pieces, because they're just as good. You paid for all of it, so you might as well use everything until you end up with just the white piece left. And then we can take those off. And right, so just need to do some stamping on our inside. So on my C block, and this I'm not going to worry that it's going to be slightly fainter. I like slightly fainter on the inside of my cards, so just going to bring in a post-it note at the bottom. And about there, I think. And then the top of our trees. Just clean that off, I think. That's better. Ink up our top of our trees. That's going to come off the side now. This is much easier from your viewpoint. I'm having to tread on tiptoes. There we go. And the lid of my memento. Definitely need to re-ink that. And again, but I'm hardly putting any pressure onto the runner. It's the lightest possible pressure that you need. And then we can just pop this down at the on the inside of our card, press from the back, and there we go. Oh no, I know what I haven't put on. I haven't put on my, these are the Playing with Patterns resin dots, which do come, one of the colours is Coastal Cabana. There's one there that's already going for a walk, so we'll use that. So that's that one there. Then we'll have a medium one back up here again, and a not too large one over, I might put that one there, I think. So there we go. So the question, of course, is happy day above the horizon or below the horizon? I already know which one I prefer. But do leave a comment. You can do that below. Below the description bar, you'll find an area for comments. So please let me know above the horizon or below the horizon. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I know I did remind you, but please subscribe. There will be close-up photographs and more information, including shopping list and all sorts of interesting stuff over on my website. And you can get to that by clicking the associated blog post link below. Thank you very much indeed for joining me, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye!